Welcome back to my KEEPUP channel. Bono and Bob Geldof paid emotional tribute to Sinead O'Connor as the star was laid to rest today. The music icon, who died in London on July 26 aged 56, was remembered at a private funeral in Bray, before the cortege passed her former home to allow heartbroken fans to pay their respects. Thousands of the Nothing Compares to You Stars fans lined the seafront in Bray after her family invited fans to turn out for a last goodbye. U2 stars Bono, The Edge and Adam Clayton were among those who attended her private funeral service. Boomtown Rats frontman Bob Geldof, who was also in attendance, later followed Sinead's funeral procession in a taxi. The stars knew each other since childhood, with Bob revealing how Sinead had sent him texts laden with despair in the weeks before her death. Irish President Michael Higgins and Taoiseach Leo Varadkar were also at the funeral, where Muslim funeral prayers were led by Sheikh Dr. Umar al-Qadri, an Islamic scholar and chief imam at the Islamic Centre of Ireland, who met the star in 2018. Sinead was remembered as a beloved daughter of Ireland with a poet's heart whose voice moved a generation of young people during the service. Sheikh Dr. Umar al-Qadri said the funeral was moving and private. He revealed, "The funeral was obviously private for the family, and it was a very moving ceremony, and I think it really reflected the beautiful personality of Sinead. It was very spiritual, and it reflected her Irish identity as well as her Muslim identity. So, I was with the members of the Muslim community, and we performed the Janazah prayer, which is the Islamic funeral prayer over Sinead." Dr. Umar al-Qadri helped convert O'Connor, who changed her name to Shohada David, later Shohada Sadakat, to Islam. He also said, "She was an amazing human being who was not just a great musician, artist, but one that would reach hearts of millions of people because of her voice, but also because of the amazing content. Whatever she said had a deep meaning. She had always had strong faith and conviction in God, and that is what motivated her to study theology. She studied different faiths, religions, and essentially, when she studied Islam, it was for her like, this was the religion I was always looking for. This was exactly the faith I was always looking for. I was always a Muslim, but I never realized. Touched their hearts." In a eulogy he shared after the ceremony, Dr. Umar al-Qadri said, "The more she sang and spoke about her own pain, as well as about the pervasive sins in society that she witnessed, the more her voice and her words resonated with listeners and touched their hearts. Sinead never stopped her search to know God fully, exemplifying a life marked with a deep communion with God. Gifted with a voice that moved a generation of young people, she could reduce listeners to tears by her otherworldly resonance." He added, "I know that peoples of all faiths throughout the world will be praying for this beloved daughter of Ireland. Among them will be countless Muslims praying for their sister in faith and humanity." Sinead's voice carried with it an undertone of hope, of finding one's way home. The Irish people have long found solace in song from the sufferings of this lower abode, and Sinead was no exception, and in sharing that solace, she brought joy to countless people the world over. He continued, "May her family and loved ones find solace in the outpouring of love from the corners of this earth for this unique daughter of Ireland who moved so many hearts with her mighty voice and unflinching honesty as an artist, poet, and human being." Sinead had a poet's heart and, I believe, would share with us today the sentiments of the poet Rumi when he said, "This place is a dream. Only a sleeper considers it real. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief. Roads were closed so fans could line the streets to pay their respects as the hearse bearing O'Connor's coffin passed by her former home on the seafront. The procession included Sinead's heartbroken father, siblings, and extended family members. As it stopped outside the property Montebello where she lived for 15 years, tearful fans applauded, threw flowers and sang Nothing Compares to You. The coffin itself was covered in blue and pink flowers. Emotional scenes. A Volkswagen camper van decorated with the Pride flag and the Rastafarian flag drove in front of the hearse, with both O'Connor's and Rasta songs playing from speakers mounted on the roof. Fans started gathering early this morning outside the home to wait for the cortege to pass by. Many laid flowers and handwritten notes, thanking O'Connor for sharing her voice and her music. One note said, "You are forever in my heart." A pink chair was placed outside the pink-framed conservatory of the house, with pink flowers, candles, and a photo of the singer placed at the base of the chair. A heart-shaped floral bouquet featured a picture of the star and 2 Irish flags. One sign left at the wall of the property listed causes that the singer had expressed support for, including welcoming refugees. It read, "Where words fail, music speaks." Since O'Connor's death on July 26, people have been leaving flowers and paying their respects at the house, which the singer sold in 2021 and now lies empty. Fans traveled from across the country, but also from around the globe, to pay their respects. Carnamarta Desai, 49, a singer from San Francisco, booked a flight to Ireland as soon as she heard the news of the Irish performer's death. She said, "The first time I heard it, news of O'Connor's death, I didn't believe it, and I knew I had to be with people who felt as powerfully as I did about how much of an impact she made." It feels these days like people say rest in peace on social media, and that's the end of someone's remembrance. I wanted to be here to offer more than that because she gave so much to me as a young girl and my generation. She said she knew if she did not come to Ireland, she would regret it for the rest of her life. I went on the internet and there was an air ticket the next day for $184. I don't know anybody here, I had nowhere to stay, but I knew everything would work out. I have been here at her house almost every afternoon, and I've been to some of the tributes around the city. She described the atmosphere in Bray for the funeral procession as magical. She added, "The minute I got here, they were playing her music and thousands of people were singing, then when the music stopped, all these little groups started their own, and it just felt like we lived some of her words, we lived her words so powerfully. There was no way I wasn't going to be a part of the last part of her life." Musician Liam O'Maonley, of Irish band The Hothouse Flowers, visited Ms. O'Connor's former home on Bray Seafront. Liam said, "She was a world force. She shook the foundations of many aspects of what we call society. She shook the foundations of that and made people look again." Asked why throngs had flocked to her home, Mr. O'Maonley declared, "I think it's love, that is why people are outside the house today. They loved her. I admired her." Source, dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.